What's up, everyone? My name is Rad, and I'm here today bringing you my review on the Eye of the Storm event for Alchemy Stars. I know it's been a bit, but I ended up taking a few days off from playing gachas to recharge the batteries. Especially me, when I play like multiple gachas at a time, I sometimes need to take a break just because mentally I'll feel burnt out. But yeah, I'm back and have a few videos planned, so we'll start off with this. I'll just be going over the story, event structure, and event rewards overall. Should be a short video, but timestamps will be down below in the description. Without further ado, let's drop that transition. So, for the story, I thought it was great. I thought it had substance, the pacing was great, and the dialogue was awesome, but most importantly, I think it did a fantastic job of building an emotional connection with the player. The developing friendship between Red Diesel and our fellow Aurorians was pretty cool to see. I also enjoyed how they really dove into the lore and background of Cinsa and Eve as brother and sister. At first, we were all suspicious about Cinsa and what his motives were, but once you start going through the chapters themselves and learning about the situation, it makes you realize that even though on the outside Cinsa comes off as a tough, hot-headed, and no-nonsense individual, deep down he actually is incredibly caring for those around him, especially his sister Eve. And speaking of Eve, man, let me tell you, she is absolutely adorable. The way she was portrayed throughout the story really reminded me of another character from another game. That would be Orca from Counterside, with the whole she has these inner thoughts and evil spirit within her that takes advantage of her without realizing it, and she's struggling to basically maintain her original self while having to go up against her inner demons, I guess is the best way to describe it. All in all, I will say that I was a big fan of the story for this event, and I'm excited to see how they expand upon other characters in the future. Now, for the event structure, for their first ever event, I thought it was executed quite well. It was simplistic, straightforward, and not too difficult. And with it being like that, it gave the opportunity for people who started a bit later to complete most, if not all, the content during the event. Basically, what I'm saying here is the accessibility, I would say, is incredibly friendly. Also, I will say that this event is incredibly productive overall. You aren't just grinding for currency to buy the rewards from the shop, but at the same time, you are also gaining a good amount of Ascension materials and Nitium as well. If I were to bring up a minor con, it would be what most have already brought up, and that would be the double limited unit event banner. I know it's easier to put both limited unit events in a banner and call it a day, but to be honest, I think it would be much more beneficial to divide them into two separate banners. That way you can still promote two limited units while also giving the ability to players to choose on who they want to summon for. It'll also make getting breakthroughs for the character that you want much more easier, I would say. Plus, I also believe that a move like that is much better for the overall morale of your community. Quick shout out to the daily login event bonus as well. Super solid decision with that one. In the end, I think that for their first event, it was great and it was done in a thoughtful way. As for the rewards themselves, I think that they were super solid. You were able to get a solid 5-star character in Dawn alongside all her slammers for a full breakthrough of her. You were also able to get a healthy amount of Ascension and Affinity materials alongside furniture for your Colossus as well. This time around, since they celebrated their 1 month, they were given tons of recharger packs away, which was great. But in the future, I would like to see them implement recharger packs in the event shop, since celebrations like that won't occur all the time. In terms of grind time to rewards cost ratio, I would say it is definitely worth the investment of prisms. Like I mentioned earlier, you aren't just grinding out event shop currency, but also gaining Ascension materials and a healthy amount of Nitium as well. The only thing I would comment is probably upping the event currency a tad bit more across all the stages. I mean, everyone still had enough time to completely buy out the shop, but for those who were late to the party or missed a few days for personal reasons, having a tad bit of a higher currency can help them potentially get those final buyouts from the shop. Also, the task rewards were simplistic to complete. I know some people aren't a big fan of having to get a certain character to complete some of them, but you were able to complete the main ones without having to do such. I personally think that it isn't too bad, as I look at those specific ones as like a bonus reward for spending, since they're not really part of since you don't really need them to collect the main rewards. But I can definitely understand the frustration of those who like to collect everything during the events. Besides that, just like everything else I talked about earlier, I thought the event shop was done quite well overall. So yeah, those were my thoughts. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and if I did, I apologize. Kudos to Tordog Studio for a successful inaugural event for Alchemy Stars. Let me know how you all felt about the event itself and what you would like to see for future events. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate that. Also, rate me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you liked or disliked the content today. All constructive criticism is appreciated. My name is Rad. You're all awesome. See you later.